Hello there.
Hi, I almost was like, Happy Monday. And then I was like, nope, not Monday.
It's Tuesday with Tewks.
It is.
I love it. I love it.
That's good.
Well, hi. Well, thank you for joining us, first and foremost. We're excited to have you here. Broadway Fan Club podcast. When I tell you guys, I have been harassing Tewks for over a year to come and hang out.
I think so.
Oh, and look, Kara's here. Kara was like the girl who was like, "Oh my god, I love Tewks so much." So,
Kara, hi.
But yes, I've been harassing you in like the most friendliest way possible. I'm like, "Come do the show. Come do the show. Come on. And then you're like, "Hey, I'm ready to do the show." And I'm like, "Okay, am I prepared?" Oh God! Oh no! No, because we were so happy to like be able to help out Matthew, and I'm bummed that he had to cancel. But
I know, that was so sad. He was so sad.
Okay. He's more than welcome to come on. For those of our followers that have been listening for a while, Matthew was doing a film project, and we threw out the GoFundMe. And I can't wait to hear how it went or if it's still going.
Yeah, he actually filmed it. It was fantastic, and now he's editing it, and he'll have a final cut in like a month, I think. So
awesome. He is more than welcome to do with it. Whatever he needs to on the show is whatever we're here for.
I love it.
But for those of us, or those of you, see concussion brain already, but for those of everybody out in La La Land and watching and hanging out and listening, you might hear a male voice, and it's not mine this time, and it's not Amber's. But we have one of the most special guests that I can say, for selfish reasons only. Plus, you are seriously one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I won't let that get to your head. I don't usually like compliment people, but you know, I just have to make excuses. Do you want to introduce yourself to the World Wide Web out there?
Sure. My name is Stephen Tewksbury. I'm 6'2". I live in New York City. That's what we have to say every time we do a submission now.
Yeah.
So
in front of
my name now, I always go Stephen Tewksbury, 6'2", New York City.
I love it.
Anyway, yes. I am from New Hampshire originally.
Nice.
Grew up, born and bred in New Hampshire. I never did any theater until high school. I did Guys and Dolls. I did lights in my junior year, and I was like, gosh, I want to be on stage next year.
See, and I was the opposite. I would perform, and I'm like, I would like to not be on stage, not for a fear of it, but just I like pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's fun. Yeah. It takes everybody. It takes everybody to create the story. That's what I was saying. So then the following year, we did Brigadoon, and I was Tommy Albright, which was fun.
Wow, Brigadoon.
And then, we did scene changes that lasted like 7 minutes. It was fantastic.
Oh, you can imagine.
It was fantastic. And
we can always quote Beetlejuice, fuck Brigadoon, you know, but
everything was made of wood and steel, and it was heavy, and it was great. Good stuff.
It wasn't just
actually,
where is the slime tutorial?
Oh my God. That was way back. You would have one of these.
That was before video cameras.
I know.
That's when you really had to be tricky to record. My best friend and I, Matt McGonigal, went to see Miss Saigon when it first opened, and there was someone sitting behind us with this huge video camera, and we turned him in. We were like, he's videoing.
I did that at Phantom. One of my last shows, I sat center orc. Yeah. And this woman took out, when I say not even just her cell phone.
This is my favorite story.
No.
Shut up. She took out her iPad.
Stop it.
On full brightness. During the boat scene.
During the boat scene?
And
No.
Directly behind her.
And all you can see is her iPad. That's terrible.
I went, ma'am, can you put that down, please? Ma'am. What the fuck?
Was she cool about it, or was she like...
No. Oh, no. She kept going, and I, like, tapped her on her shoulder, and she jumped, and I literally just did this.
Good for you.
We don't play around. Amber knows. We had some issues at Gypsy where people were, like, drunk and texting right behind us. Like, I have no issues being like, hi, they're doing something naughty. Yeah. But Amber kind of, I try to avoid slime tutorials. And for those of you that don't know what a slime tutorial is, Google it. It's not actually about slime. But Amber and I, when I was in Connecticut last week, she's like, hey, we should watch the slime tutorial of Sweeney Todd. And I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. That's a long one. Where did the term come from, slime tutorial? Is that just
So
to
I
throw
think
people
that was a
off?
COVID thing because COVID was where like all the kids were making slime.
Right.
Like
I get
boxing video, but
the video when you're posting it on YouTube by saying like, "Oh, this is just a tutorial of me making slime."
I get
but
it.
I'm gonna say, and Amber and I were sitting and watching on her couch. There were slime tutorials, dude. It was like a pro shot, like zoomed in.
I don't get it.
This is of Sweeney.
There was one of Sweeney.
Yeah.
It started off kind of rocky because they were sitting in the mez, and you know how that mez is like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fully pitched, which literally they plan for people to get like dizzy and nauseous. But it's pretty good. I'm sure Amber will send you that link if you would like to see it. She's working on it now.
I would
Olivia's
never like to see that. Ever.
No, absolutely not. Olivia says someone was on their phone when I went to Sunset Boulevard. And I told the ushers, yeah, I mean, look, call me a Karen, but I'm here to enjoy theater and I'm here to enjoy it live. And I don't want to see the damn screen from your phone. Now, shows that make the exception, like the 20-Sided Tavern, which I don't know if you're aware of, the D&D show. Oh, no. Do you not know about this?
I don't.
Thanks.
You're going to find that I don't know anything that's going on. If I'm not in a show and I'm in Midtown, I never go down. I live up in Washington Heights.
Oh, noted. Yeah,
I don't want to go all the way downtown. I want to go to Midtown and take the train.
I mean, fair. That's fair. But it's a Dungeons and Dragons. It's the actual Dungeons and Dragons, and it's completely improv. Dungeons and Dragons live on stage. And they encourage, because it's off Broadway, they're literally one seat short of a Broadway theater, and they encourage the usage of your phone because you're constantly answering questions on your phone for your specific character, and to take photo and video. And I'm like, and I said to Amber, because she had never seen it, we saw it Saturday night. It was so fun. It's so much fun. I said, but notice when you give permission for people to use their phone, some of them are idiots. And some of them are like, well, I can use my phone. I don't need to be like tricky about it now. And they're okay with it. Yeah,
exactly. So. I have to tell my friend David Foley about that. He's a big D&D guy.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great show. And we will actually have one of their performers on the show next week. So
I'll have to come back and listen.
Yes, you will. You're going to be a lifetime listener. See, the words are going to eventually come out of my mouth. Lifetime, forever and ever and ever and ever until Sweeney Todd finds you and takes you out. Well, so we know that you're 6'2" and you live in Manhattan.
6'2".
Yeah, you're 6'2".
Yes.
You have like a hell of a career, my friend.
I have. I've been incredibly fortunate to be doing this since 1993. And
I was 11. I'm aging myself right now. You're welcome.
My biggest break was, of course, during COVID. Other than that, I'd been doing theater that entire time. And then I was lucky enough to
work that removed from everybody. It was hard.
No, it was. I mean, come on, it's so weird, and it's so weird to think about back on it. And I kind of don't, because it's like, okay, let's keep moving forward. Let's keep going. But anyway, during that period of time, I actually worked at Beer Culture. It's on 46th.
That's why. Okay.
Thank
you for answering that question because it's in your bio.
Yes, I put it in my bio because those guys saved my butt.
I love Beer Culture. It's my favorite place. It's on 45th, and it's my favorite place to walk by and see what they've got on the board, because they've got the cool. I literally did a live in front of it yesterday when I was leaving the city. They've got the dragon stairwell right in front of them.
Yep.
Like the Chinese dragons, and when it snows, it's like really cool. They have crazy list, and then I go to Beer Culture, then I go to Schmackery's. That's like my favorite.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do. Yep. And it's not like any other bar in Times Square. It's like Cheers. It's so comfy and cozy, and
local.
TVs are on, but everybody talks to each other. It's really great.
Yeah,
really great. So that's why I put that in the bio, because they saved my butt.
Love it.
They were great.
But you're also very humble, because when I say you've had a career, most notably recently with Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
And then a little show called The Phantom of the Opera.
Yes, I was lucky enough to go into, I shouldn't say lucky, I need to say fortunate.
Fortunate, talented enough.
Two different things. Just like I'm not old, I'm older. That's
fair enough.
Right?
You're vintage? Yes.
Vintage.
Vintage.
I'm an aged steak. How's that?
You're aged.
Love it.
That's fine.
Yeah, it was that's when I ended up leaving Beer Cultures, because I went in to do Fearman. Craig Bennett, who was playing Fearman, needed to have knee surgery, so I went in for him. And then it turned out that I got to go into Andre for 8 weeks.
Right.
And after Andre, I went into Lefebvre until January before Sweeney started.
You've done I think you've done every male role except the dancers.
Rao.
Yeah.
Except for Rao, yeah. Yeah, I got to skip that one, which is good, because all I ask of you. Oh, jeez. I have a funny story. So I did the newer tour. It wasn't the Cameron McIntosh directed.
Okay.
And I went out on that, and there was these walls that would come around. I don't know if you guys happen to see it, but it would be
that the one that opened up the Dr. Phillips Center here in Orlando?
I don't know. I don't know where it opened, actually.
Okay.
But
I'll have to research it. Yeah.
My wife was doing Carlotta out there, and I left Kinky Boots to go out there, and I spent 1.5 years out there. But during I would go up, and there was a scene where when Bouquet gets hung, I would be a stagehand that would drop him.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Oh my God, Bouquet, oh no, right? And then the thing would turn around for All I Ask of You, and I would be stuck up there through All I Ask of You in the end of the first act. And I had to listen to that song.
Every single night.
Every single night. Not to mention that when you're on as Phantom, you also have to listen to that song every night because you're in the Angel.
Yes, you are. I have a funny story about the Angel that
we don't have any secrets, right? I mean, I can talk about all this stuff. Like
you can talk about whatever you want.
Everybody knows all the tricks, right?
I mean, there's
back
no.
In the day, it was like, don't tell anybody how to
your face.
Yeah, do tell. My weird angel story. So I was very fortunate. I saw Phantom 12 times. 9 of those 12 times I won lottery.
Oh my gosh.
I think great. I used up all of my lottery luck at that show. I would literally just like submit lottery, and then by the time I would land in either like Newark or LGA or JFK, it was like, congratulations. I was like, oh, okay, awesome. Phantom is like my show. I will show you pictures after show of all of my Phantom stuff. It's really embarrassing. But I saw it. I'm in Orlando. Amber's in Connecticut.
Okay. Great.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's a very, very expensive passion of mine for Broadway. We love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would come up, and for those of you that never won lottery, it sounds like a brag, but you're front row at Phantom.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And front row means that you are within spitting distance, and I'm going to say that literally, from the Angel. And there was, I'm not going to call out the specific Phantom that I saw, who is not from this country, who was a well-known rock star in a different country. And all of a sudden, I just got a drop straight down my shirt.
So gross.
And I sat there going,
were you psyched, or were you like, this is gross?
No, I'm a germaphobe when it comes to that stuff, but I sat there because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I can't put my hand like in my shirt and like.
I know, right?
So I just kind of sat there, and then I left, and I'm just like, I think people would pay for that because it's no kink shaming at all. But like,
I'm sure.
Momentum from the Angel. And Tewks, do you want to kind of tell people the Angel, if people haven't seen Phantom or haven't had the opportunity to see that kind of tour, what that part of the stage does or what it did?
Sure. So there's an Angel located at the top of the proscenium, and after All I Ask of You, the big number between Christine and Raoul, they run off, and the Phantom has been listening the entire time, and he's not very happy. Because Christine is falling in love with Raoul, and that was not the damn plan. So this Angel lowers down from the proscenium about halfway between the ground and the proscenium.
And it's massive.
It's massive. It's huge. Yeah. And the Phantom appears and sings the end of the first act. And as he hits the last note, the Angel then ascends back up into the proscenium, and it is cool, and it is one of the most awesome things to do.
I can imagine.
It's so fun. And when people don't expect it, like, oh my God, the Phantom. And you can hear that, which is really fun. But like I said, the funny thing is that the Phantom's been sitting in there for like 10 minutes.
Is it comfortable at least?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, and if you move at all, it will swing. So you have to be so still.
You just have to trance it.
Yeah. Or you just have to not fall asleep. That's what
Fair
you do.
enough.
Although when you're covering, you haven't been on in a while, you're like, yeah. But when you've been on for quite a period of time, you're like, oh gosh, yeah. So what am I gonna have for dinner tonight? And
I'm supposed to do this now. Whoops.
Yeah. That is one of the coolest things. And I did the Vegas production.
God, I know.
And the Vegas production. Did you ever see that?
No, I want to.
Oh my gosh, it was really cool. It was only an hour and a half, which was great.
But I've heard that the chandelier was like insanity.
The chandelier was in pieces and it comes together, and then when it would shatter and send out these little gel shards of glass, which was fun.
That's so cool.
But the coolest thing is they had I don't know if you've seen concerts where somebody comes up out of the stage and jumps.
Yeah.
So they had this elevator set up, and so after the Phantom would get into the throne and disappear,
spoiler
you would
alert,
reappear in the bow by coming up on that thing with your back to the audience. You'd zoom up. It was like zoom, and you'd go off the floor a little bit and land, and you'd turn around, and the whole company's in a V, and you're like, hello.
That also sounds very similar to Sweeney's entrance, though, like flipping up and then being flopped into. Yeah.
Although Sweeney's entrance, that was all human, which was cool. I mean, he comes up in the elevator and he's laying down, and then two people grab him and send him up. Yeah, that was a cool thing. I had never seen Sweeney live until I hurt my knee and was out for a period of time.
Okay.
And I went back to the show, and Kristen Blodgett, who's a lovely conductor that has been a part of Phantom of the Opera for years and years and years and years and years. She's the best, literally the best.
I mean, how much she paid to tell you that? So
yeah. Actually, I'll do a side story. When I was in college, I came to a callback for Rao here in the city.
Okay, amazing.
And Kristen was behind the table, and I sang some kind of like heavy. No, it wasn't heavy. It was kind of a light song. I can't remember what it was. I had no idea what I was doing, and I had no idea what the word legit meant. So Kristen said, "Can you sing me something more legit?" And I thought, like,
too legit to quit.
I was like, something more legit. And legit means like, legit is like more operatic, a larger voice, But I had no idea. So I said, well, I have something from Pippin. Pippin could not be more opposite from legit ever.
No.
The whole table broke down laughing, and Kristen came around the corner and held my hand and said, let me see your book. Let me find something for you to sing. And I will never forget it. It was so sweet.
That's amazing.
I
love it. I love that kind of support in the community. I really do.
Oh, she's
Kara Ritchie says Kristen is a goddess.
Yes. Yes, Kara.
Wasn't her daughter one of the dressers on Sweeney as well?
She was Emma. Yes.
Yes.
No, Emma dressed Josh, actually.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That was great. So where was I before that? Oh, so I went to go see her conduct her first show, and I saw that opening number for the first time, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, it was stunning. And when Josh comes flying out of that group, you're like, oh my God. First of all, you're like, I've been working with Josh, and I know Josh, and he came out, and I was like, Josh Groban, like a total fan.
I love that so much. No, but everybody in the audience started to do it. You have like the Grobanites. Oh my God, forget it.
My favorite thing about the Grobanites is when they realized that Josh was not Josh in the show, that he was Sweet.
No,
right?
I loved it. People at intermission would be like, Josh is very angry in this show. I'm like, well, he's not Josh. He's Sweeney. Come on, work with me here,
Sweeney
people.
Todd, played by
How about
Josh
those?
Groban.
I mean, maybe somebody's listening, but there were the women that had all those tattoos. Did you ever see them?
Yes, I think I'm here talking about.
He's got a group of groupies that come, and they have like tattoos of his face.
Oh,
they're Amber. They're very much like the Glamberts.
The Glamberts, right? Yes.
What's that?
The Adam Lambert fans.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, you can. That's your fandom. That's your choice. No fandom shaming.
No, it's great. It's totally great, and
awesome.
it's fine, and everybody's I would never do it. Maybe.
You wouldn't get Josh Groban's face tattooed on you?
Maybe I'll get a tattoo of Josh Groban's face on my arm.
Oh my God, please do. Let us know.
I mean, if it's going to be anyone, it's got to be Josh Groban.
No, I think somebody needs to get our faces. Like the three of us.
No, I think it should be somebody totally random from Sweeney Todd. Like, I'm going to get one of our swings. His name is Hennessy. I'm going to get Hennessy's face.
Love that. We love Hennessy.
And people will be like, what are you doing? I'll be like, it's Hennessy. You don't know who he is? Come on.
Yeah, how dare you not?
So funny.
So when you actually got a chance to watch the show, you were just like, awesome, but I'm also very much a part of this.
And then the one, I would say one of the top 5 things I've ever done in my career was sitting in the orchestra in the string section, listening to the entire score being played. That was amazing. Crazy. Those orchestrations, and gorgeous. When you're actually in there, and it was unbelievable. Yeah. It was unbelievable. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I was in there crying, and I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts. And the strings in I want to say Nothing's Gonna Harm You, but that's not it. It's Wait and Wait. Mm-hmm. They go, oh my God, it's gorgeous. It's simply gorgeous.
So I won lottery twice for Sweeney. So that
I didn't win lottery.
I got to sit in the front row.
Those tickets are hard to see a lot of stuff, wasn't it? You were like,
they were a little hard, but it was so fun to see like the orchestrations from that close, because you could like peek over the ledge and see everything. Mm-hmm. So I like
from that, or no, you're in the front to be able to look down.
I was in the very, very first row, so I was like really loving everything, just because it blew my mind just watching the orchestra play such an incredible piece. Well, show.
It's gorgeous. It's the best.
You seem to have found a niche, finding yourself in shows that have like incredible scores, because you went, Phantom, awesome. Sweeney, awesome. Kinky Boots, hello.
Kinky Boots. Kinky Boots was great, because that
one of my favorite shows.
That got me into the pop world, which was awesome. Yeah. Because, you have Sweeney and Les Mis and Javert and the Phantom and all that stuff. You kind of get a little pigeonholed into like, he's got a very legit voice. And
of course. Oh, wait, you sang? I had no idea.
Happily enough, Jerry Mitchell was like, oh, I like this guy. And I fit the character, which was fantastic. Yes. And I get into Kinky Boots, I think it was right before the Tony Awards is when I went in. In fact, they won the Tony, and I started rehearsals the next day.
Which was crazy.
Cool. You want to hear a funny story?
Yes, always.
All right. So everybody, the company wins the Tony Award. It's Sunday. You have Monday off.
Right.
Tuesday, you come back for that first show. And I mean, everybody that produced the show, worked on it, Cindy, Harvey, everybody was there on stage to just celebrate. And it was incredible.
Yeah.
And Billy gave a little speech, and I think Daryl said something, and then the stage manager went, "Oh, and here we have a new cast member, and his name is Stephen Tewksbury." Right? I'm like, what? And the only thing that was in my mind that I wanted to say, and I didn't, was, "We did it!" As someone who was just tired that day. And later on, when I got comfortable with people, I told them, they said, "You should have done that." And I was like,
"You absolutely should have."
Wait, we can set the scene. We can set the scene and then just play it. We'll set the scene. You ready? Okay. And this is Stephen Tewksbury.
I know, right? Oh, yeah. And then I'd be like, "We did it!"
Yeah.
And half the people would have laughed. Half the people would have laughed, and half the people would have been like, "Who's this?"
Rolled their eyes. Who is this guy?
It would have been great.
When you played,
luckily enough, I just clapped and I bowed down to everyone and said, "I'm not worthy."
I just want you to play a role that's not a villain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Don. When I covered Don, he's a villain. George wasn't in Kinky Boots. George was fun. He was sweet.
George is great.
He was sweet. I want to play a character that doesn't die.
That'd be great. Yeah, that's also a very fair point. Who is it?
I mean, my whole career, like, I started off as Bouquet and Phantom.
Right.
And then actually I did Miss Saigon. I did the original company Miss Saigon back in 1996 to 2000, which is crazy. I was a kid. I was 25 years old. I have some fun stories from that too. I got in a little bit of trouble.
Oh,
I used to be a little bit of a
rabble rouser.
Yeah, like I had a little too much fun. Okay. And I never did anything, there's a way to have fun without ruining telling the story. And some actors, they have a little trouble with that, and you never mess with someone before a line. But so I was in Miss Saigon, and we'd get in the helicopter, which was it was a prop that came down, and then it would take back off, and it would live upstage. Nobody ever got into it. Well, I thought it would be fun to take pictures and tape them on the helicopter cockpit area. Oh, no. And I had quite the collection going for
that.
But we were doing the slow motion evacuation scene. We're like dun 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 dun. The helicopter's flying in and it banks, and one little picture floats out, and we're all watching it. It was like slow motion, and it landed in the front row.
Okay.
Woman picked it up and she went, "Oh!" And I got in a little trouble for that. And in slow motion, I looked over at the stage manager, and they were like, "You're dead." And the next time they did, the crew did a work call on the helicopter. They made me come in and take all the pictures off. As the
naughty boy.
I know, right? And I was so young.
Now.
I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Now I'd be like, I'm not going to do that.
No,
right?
Why? They're going to be up there anyways. Let them take it down. And
the other coolest thing about that theater is you're right across the street from then. It was Letterman, and the men's dressing room at that time was overlooking the street, and we got to see all of that stuff with Dave for years and years and years. Cool. It was so neat. I called him Dave, but I don't know him, so I shouldn't have said Dave.
I mean, but that's okay. That's all right. I think
me and Dave.
Totally fine.
I'd see Dave on the street. I'd be like, Dave. He'd be like, shut up.
We're like this.
Yeah. You just been name dropping the whole show. It's fine. It's all right.
Yeah. Me and Dave and me and Josh. It's just I don't know.
And
it's
Cindy,
just so much.
Billy. It's like,
oh, yeah, Billy, right?
Yeah, you're like, I'm Billy. And I'm like,
hey, I've been so lucky to work with some great people. Huh?
Yeah.
It's been great.
It's very cool.
Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite that I worked with?
Yes, it's like asking somebody about their favorite child. Do you have a favorite? Or let's put it this way. Do you have a favorite cast that you've worked with, or a favorite show that you like?
I have to say that each show is different, but
of course,
the most fun I've ever had at a show was Kinky Boots, because Kinky Boots was light. It had a beautiful message. It was very cutting at the time, and the women's ensemble, everyone had a bar. And the show was 2.5 hours.
Amazing.
And so we would sit afterwards for, I don't know, an hour and just have drinks and talk and chat. And everybody got along really good. And at that theater, at that time, they used to have these barbecues out in the alley.
Nice.
And I think that got shut down because it got full of smoke once for
at tracks.
It was a thing.
Whoops. Mm-hmm. I wonder why.
It was great. It was great. And everybody that ever worked there would show up.
That's so cool.
I was there at one of the barbecues for Kinky Boots, and we looked over in the corner, and Daniel Radcliffe was under the stairs, like hanging out. I was like, what the hell is going on?
That's why there was all the smoke. He came in from
because they're the best crew. Right. Those guys are awesome over there. Yeah. They're so great. And so anyway, so that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. What'd you say?
Kinky is an intense show. Like the set design and the move, like the walking with the boots on the rollers and like just everything around. Crazy.
Yeah. It's the best show that I've ever left on such a high. Just be who you wanna. I mean, we were just be
that's
excited.
my get up and go song for real.
Instead of like Sweeney, where
swing your razor high, Sweeney.
Everyone dies.
Tobias is about to be taken away.
I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. But we're gonna put a petition out that the next show that you get cast in, you don't die.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I like that.
Do you have like a dream role that you want?
I was just gonna ask that. I was just gonna say on that note.
To be completely honest with you, when I was in college, I wrote down 3 roles I wanted to play.
Okay.
Phantom, Javert, and Enjolras. And I got to do all of those pretty quickly, which was really, really, really great. Right now, if I had to do a dream show, I think right now I'd like to do Ragtime, which would be awesome.
You're hitting Amber's.
I'm a ragtime girly.
Are you?
I
would love to do that show. But actually, you know, what I really love to do is be a part of a new show that comes in, you know, and not even know what that is yet, and go through that entire casting process and then create and actually, you know, and be part of it from the beginning, like we were with Sweeney. Even though Sweeney it was a revival, so it wasn't like we were making changes to the score, changes to the script, you know. But I would really like to do like something original and create. I think that would be a lot of fun.
See, that's a true actor though, because you're like,
I could see you doing like a Wolfsheim kind of cool role like that.
All right.
All right. So we should start petitioning to Gatsby. All right, we'll get Catherine Quinn on the phone.
Gatsby's out there. Yeah, that would be one. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not really right for. Hey, did you see Gypsy?
Yes.
It
was weird to be back at the Majestic though.
I know, right? It's so beautiful. It's such a good job with that.
When they start, I was there when Phantom loaded out. I was there when they found the red underneath, like the full Majestic sign, like under the marquee. Because it was blue, then it was red, it was black. They found the original window. But going in there, I think the first thing I said to Amber was like, I feel like I'm cheating on Phantom by being here. It was just so weird. But now
I was there a while. But let me tell you, that place needed to be cleaned.
Oh, yeah.
When you walk in there, you're like, what? You know, there was when I would walk into Phantom, you know, when you do a show for a long period of time, you're part of a long period of the show. You have good times and you have bad times. You have times where you're hired for stuff you want to. You have times where you're not hired for things. A lot of people are covers that want to get bumped up and it doesn't happen, and you're in that show for a long period of time. So the last time that I walked into that theater backstage, there's a certain smell, no matter where you're doing Phantom, and it's like carpentry / fog / hope and broken dreams.
Oh, no.
That's what I used to say. And it's literally like you go, oh gosh, yes, I'm back. And with the Majestic gone, you know, that smell will never be there. If we could have made little candles, that would have been fun.
I think there's a company out there. I'll have to research it. I believe there's a company that like makes different fragrances for different shows.
I love it.
So I'll see if there's one with broken dreams and
broken dreams, fog, carpentry, broken dreams, and what was it? Anxiety.
Hope. Yes.
Hope. Yes.
Hope. There was the one good thing left. It's like Pandora's box.
And you know, and the crew was there so long. That was a great place to go back to. And lucky enough for me, like I got to go back a lot. I did 20 different contracts with 4 different companies of Phantom. And who knows?
Like that's inspiring.
Yeah, it was really great. And
all you got was a damn mug. It's like I went here and all I got was a stupid t-shirt. Like now you got a mug.
Well, I used to have a robe, but you know, I'm not one for keeping a lot of memorabilia stuff because I have the memories of the whole thing.
Of course, and like the slime tutorials, of course.
Yeah, right. I can watch the slime tutorials.
Did you take anything, or were you given anything from any of the other shows, or just chose to have memories, which I love?
Officially, unofficially, yes. I got.
You can tell us. We won't tell anybody.
Right. I got when I left Kinky Boots. I ended up getting my what do you call it? The thing that George would wear, his working coat. What do you call it?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have that in my closet, which I thought was really sweet.
That's
cool. I really loved playing George. I never get to play roles like that where he's just persnickety and just kind of like. It was really fun. Usually, I'm like, and then I die, right? Like you said.
You got like
you want to hear a fun story about Sweeney Todd?
Of course.
Right.
I mean, yes, it's your show.
Oh well, it's our show. Come
on.
We were. I can't remember where we were. I think we had just opened.
Okay.
And we hadn't had a lot of understudy rehearsals yet at all, because you don't. When you're opening a show, you just don't.
Sure.
And I had learned the first act. I believe it was the day before that this happened. Okay. And Jamie Jackson, who was playing the judge, who, by the way, hats off to Jamie Jackson. I think he missed of a year and a half.
Like 2
I think
shows?
he missed
2 shows,
3
yeah.
shows and took
Okay.
1 vacation.
That's crazy.
And one of those
I was going to
shows,
say, notoriously good
Yeah.
track record for
oh,
attendance.
incredible track record, and very, very committed and wonderful man.
You're saying
And
one of those shows, what?
What'd you say?
You had said one of his shows.
Oh yes, one of his shows. He got stuck on the train, and because he would take the Metro North and he couldn't make it in. And at 7:20 at an 8:00 show, that was a Thursday, so it was actually 7:00 show. So it was 6:20. They came upstairs and said, "Hey, Steve, you're going to be on tonight." And I said, "Okay." And everyone in the room was like, and I said, "You know that I don't know the second act." And they're like, "Yes, we're gonna deal with that right now. Come on downstairs." So I go downstairs, and I haven't worked with Josh.
Thank God you were there early, right?
Yeah. Well, this was only 40 minutes before the show. So
okay, fair. Still, yeah.
Early.
So it was like
Early.
right before half hour, they came in and were like, "Hey." So I go downstairs and I'm like, "Hi, Josh." He's like, "Hi." And I haven't worked with him at all on anything.
Right.
And I hadn't been down the shoot. I hadn't been. So when I get killed in the second act, I couldn't go down the drop because you have to have a put in, safety reasons, blah, blah, blah. So we had to reblock the last scene. And meanwhile, I'm like trying to go over the lyrics, and luckily enough, like all the judge does in the second act is he comes in, has that one scene, gets killed, and he goes on the stage, blah, 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 and you can.
Please tell me you crawled away.
Yeah. So Josh is like, "Okay, this is what we're going to do." And so I'm like, "Okay, I'll get out of the chair." And Josh is like, "Okay." And then I'll grab you, and then I'll slit your throat, and then I'll turn you around. I'll just shank the shit out of you. I was like, "Okay, let's go. Let's do this."
That's a great way to get a crush out. Oh man.
And so I go back downstairs. I go back upstairs, and then I have to shave because I have a full beard, and I have to give him something to shave.
Right.
And then we did this wonderful thing so then I got ready and we go down, and then we took this thing from Hamilton where we all stand around when someone new goes on, and we call it hands on, and we go, we say a little thing. And then I'd never been on the lift because I used to come in from stage left.
Right.
So I'm going over all this stuff, and let me tell you, that lift was cool. That was awesome. And you hear the crowd, "Rah!" And then you hear the and then we slowly start to come up. And I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, you got to stay in the moment here. You're going to get this thing done." Anyway, so we do the first act, fine. Go back up, do the second act. And I'm in the middle of singing Pretty Women with Josh Groban. And he's singing in my left ear. And I've been a fan of Josh Groban forever. Like, I think his voice is awesome.
Which is funny. I don't know if you know, he states that his dream role is Phantom.
Yes, I did know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to figure that out. I mean, come on.
I mean,
This should just be a phone call, right?
Right.
Somewhere.
I'd like to.
They are doing the immersive. We'll get into that in a second. So
I mean, we know we can sell tickets. Hello.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
Jeez. So I'm sitting there and singing Pretty Women with him, and I hear him in my ear, and I'm going, "Oh my God. I'm on stage. It's just me and Josh Groban singing one of my favorite songs of all time in musical theater, right?"
So cool.
And then all of a sudden we get that was the first act. We go back up and we do the second act.
Yeah.
And with our adrenaline, literally, I jumped off the chair. He grabbed me, put me in a headlock, just started stabbing the shit out of me.
I think I was at that show too.
Threw me down on the ground, and I crawl off. And the audience was like, and to this, it was the coolest murder that Sweeney did the entire run.
Because I don't think anybody else
was like real. We were like, let's just make this up as we go.
I'm just waiting for like Turpin's body to like rot in the attic.
I know. It was really fun.
Now, I told you pre-show I had a question about the blood for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Really terrible. So I'm doing on the Broadway cruise that's coming up in March. I have made actually Amber and I in 19-degree weather outside of her apartment last week.
It was so cold.
It was freezing cold, but I made like a Carrie dress.
Okay.
And I want to cover myself in fake blood without staining my skin or my hair.
Yep.
And I'm trying to get different iterations. Did you guys use a brand or did you guys make your own blood?
Our head props woman made the blood. I don't know what it was.
Did it stain or was it pretty good?
No, it would come out. And I mean, the wardrobe always had to wash everybody's stuff that was involved in the blood.
Except the tank tops that Aaron would bid off for Broadway hairs.
Oh my God. I remember that first night we were like, we're going to do what?
at Sweeney Todd, we're going to do this.
We were all like, is this going to work? Like that would totally work over at Moulin Rouge. And
it worked at Sweeney. And when you're in a cast like that, a big cast, the whole talk of the show is it going to work? Are we actually going to do that? Are we going to do that?
Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, no, because we're bored. And you get to the end, and I think we sold it for like $15,000.
It was something insane because
we were like, yes.
I started the Sweeney group when it was first announced it was coming to Broadway. I had been adminning, so I had gotten asked to admin the Phantom of the Opera fan club, the PH, and Buy Sell Broadway. And I'm like, I want to do something that I started. So I'm like, I am obsessed with Sweeney. Yeah. I'm going to start this. And I started it, and I'm like, this is amazing. And no, we had the members that bought the cutting boards that weighed like 5,000 pounds and had like cut marks in it signed by like Annalie and Josh. Cool.
Yeah.
Or like the veil of, was it Mary Magdalene? Like when Josh did this with his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like the bloody claws. Like people just spent a lot of money. But yeah.
And then didn't Sutton make pies?
She did.
She did.
That was so sweet. She would sit in the dressing room in between scenes and make pies.
I love that.
And be like, oh my God. She'd be like, I got to get another pie. These are going like mad.
I love it. I went all out. I was there for the first preview.
Were you really?
I think, yeah. So, and it's funny how I got my ticket is I think it was Broadway director whoever the ticket was, and there was one seat left in the entire house. And it was $79. And it was like row XX. It was like almost to the back. But it was a wheelchair companion seat, and it was a solo seat because somebody had taken. And I'm like, I called them up, and I'm like, how do I buy this ticket? Because it says it has to be bought as a pair, but there's literally nothing else around. And they let me buy the ticket.
Oh, that's so great.
And I went up specifically for first preview, and I dressed as a traditional Mrs. Lovett.
No way.
Oh, yeah. And I've got crazier story is I was wearing Victorian boots. I love cosplay. Oh. And so I stopped from the Renaissance Times Square, walking through Times Square, and I stopped to change my shoes so I could walk up to the Lunt in full costume. Yes. And it was the most terrifying moment because all of the creepy, like furry characters, like the fake Mickeys and Minnies and everything, with their heads off, circled me, thinking I was going to try to start like offering. And so I've got like creepy characters around me.
This is our corner. Is Minnie Mouse is smoking a butt, right?
Yes. They're just like
crazy.
It was like the mob, and
yeah, they weren't messing around.
But I walked over and. So I'm still waiting. If you know who this person is. So the social media team like literally yoinked me from like line, and they were like, we need to do a full video shoot with you. And I'm like, oh. They had me borrow somebody's like rolling pin, and they did a shot like down the street, up my shoes, up my course. I was like,
yes. Yes.
I've been a fan, but man, oh man, what a cool show that was.
It was cool. It was epic, and it was huge. Yeah. And it was a very, very loving group of people. We had a ball.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, that cast really, like, just from being an outsider watching it on social media, it really seems like there was like such a family aspect to that cast. Like
it was, and there was never like. I mean, we had our stars, and we had Gayton, of course, and Josh, and people that were names. But when
Joe,
Joe, and when we got in the building, it just was. We were just all equal and fun, and
which is how it should be.
It was great, and we used to do warm-ups every Wednesday for 2 shows and Saturday, and we would do that a half an hour before, half hour, and then we'd have a meeting, and it was really, really, really nice. We had a beautiful green room up on the 5th floor.
Nice.
But it was cool, and a lot of really deep, wonderful friendships were born I didn't make any actually, but I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
That's your problem.
No, it was really a very special show, and John Rapson and I would always be like, this is one of the special ones, and we gotta hang on to it, and we all did. We all knew it was not. No one took it for granted.
Everyone thought it was a limited run when it first came out, and then when Aaron and Sutton replaced Annalie and Josh, everyone's like, oh, maybe they're going to keep doing it. And I'm like, I think this is like a nice, pretty little bow on a good package.
Yeah, it was a nice bow. I think that it would have been hard to keep that going longer, to keep finding people that
stunt casting.
Yeah, and also like luckily enough, the combo between Sutton and Aaron is we sold great. You have to. That show was a lot to run per week, and shows. So it was like,
when it's heavily relying on
producers always wanted to have that go out on top. It was like, let's go out on top,
right?
And this is what it is, and we'll just finish it. And that's why there wasn't a tour as well. It was like, okay, we can never.
But they kept hinting at a tour. They kept saying we're going to go on tour, and then.
Yeah, and then I think when it came down to it, they were like, well, logistically, it would be hard to have this set. And if we can't have this set, why are we going to do it?
Right.
So now, I wasn't in on the meetings of that, but if I was, I would have been like, that's really smart, you guys. Really smart.
Yeah. Now, talking about tours and, revivals or unique versions, and maybe you don't know anything about this, but how do you feel about the immersive Phantom experience coming?
I think it's cool. And I'll tell you why. I think that you can do a lot of different things with Phantom, but if it's done right, I think it would be so fun.
They're building an entire graveyard on the roof.
No, I think that it's
I'm excited.
And there's the show has an audience and that it will sell,
Yes.
And people come to the city.
I'll be there all the time.
I want to do the immersive and how fun to be like say even the bouquet scene,
right.
It's happening right in front of you and he's walking around you, right. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
And I think there's endless possibilities of what you can do with a show like that. Like chandelier, there's so many, you can get so creative. And if you're building a space for that, you can put all kinds of bells and whistles in there and tricks and magic. And
it's like, awesome. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to go to Sleep No More, or now it's Life and Trust. I just did Life and Trust on Sunday, but it was incredible. But like the set designs, I'm just imagining as I was walking through it, I'm like, I can't even imagine Phantom because I would not leave. I'd be like, I live here now. You're gonna have to kick me out.
I don't want to move to the next room.
I
don't want to move to the next room.
Nope, not at all.
Well, hey, listen, you have some beautiful books behind you. Have you read them all?
Oh, these are not real.
Okay. All right. I got it. See, I just had one photo that I put up today, so it didn't look like I lived in squalor.
Behind this very wooden shade is my guest room that I am still in the process. Yeah, isn't that great? Nice. I have way too many lounge fly bags that I bought during COVID. And that's bags of them that I'm trying to sell.
The dock behind me is where I learned how to swim at Horace Lake in Ware, New Hampshire.
Oh, that's sweet. I love it. I love that you put a picture up just for us. Thank you.
I did. I always joke with my wife that I want to get 2 huge headshots made and put them up over our couch when we have people over.
I love that.
And you'll know who your good friends are because they will laugh and think, that's hilarious. But the person that comes in and goes, oh, these guys are cool.
You're like, get out, bye. Bye-bye.
But my wife's like, there's no way we're doing that. I could never handle that period of time where it's like, is this for real or not? So anyway, I was talking to her and she's like, well, why don't you put a big picture of yourself? And I'm like, I can't.
Should have 100%.
Exactly. Can you imagine if we came on and there's just big ass headshot of me in the back and I'm like,
I don't know. She can pull Carlotta off. She can pull a lot of things off.
She can. She's the best. She's out on the parade tour now.
Oh,
I'm actually flying out to Cleveland tomorrow to see her.
Oh, nice. Oh my God.
And that's a great, heavy show. But
I want to see it. I'm Jewish, and I want to see it. I just don't know how heavy. Like, I know it goes heavy, but like how much I can physically stand.
You could handle it. You could absolutely handle it. It's done impeccably, and just to hear that score, the Jason Robert Brown score,
it's gorgeous,
and everyone out there is just killing it, and it's really great. I wonder, it's not coming to Orlando, I know that, but I think they end up in Washington at the Kennedy Center, and
nice.
Yeah, and they're up in Boston soon too. But anyway, I'm flying to Cleveland tomorrow to see my wife for a week, so that would be nice.
That's so exciting. Are you ready for it?
Exciting.
Am I ready for Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tour life.
I love Cleveland. I'm going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I was going to say, you better be going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep. I want to go to the West Side Market. My wife's from there, so that would be fun.
And Kara says that she is heading to NYC on Thursday, or she would drive to Cleveland to go see her. And she also said,
sweet.
Your wife is incredible. Love her. Now, while I have Kara just singing your praises.
Kara, is that a picture of her? Is that Trista in that picture? It is.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I will show you another picture if you'd like.
Show me a picture.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Hold on, now I gotta pull it up now. No pressure.
No pressure. Tick.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Yep. And Kara says, nope, that's me. So I guess in that picture, so that's Kara. So when I asked Kara, because the minute that I posted in our fandom group that you were going to be on the show tonight, Kara was like, oh my God, I love Tubes. And then she sent me that picture. She actually posted it. And I was like, can I please share it? Absolutely.
That's a great pic. Where is that? I can't figure it out.
It's at the stage door at the State Theater in Playhouse Square, April 2019.
Oh my gosh.
And that's an amazing cosplay as well, Kara. You look gorgeous. Phenomenal. I can only imagine, what you're wearing these days, if that's how good you looked in 2019.
I'm telling you, like, us Phantom fans, like, we don't stop. I did a gender bend Phantom last year on the Broadway cruise, and I won the costume contest with it. I wore a giant ball gown. I did a fully, like, I'll send you the picture. It's like a full glitter mask, like with pictures. It looked great, but I was very happy with it. Oh my God, Kara says she lost 110 pounds since then. Oh my God, so you are twig thin. That's great. But you look beautiful. So
I look exactly the same, Kara. So
you do. You really do. Just the facial hair is a little bit different.
Headshot. My headshot's I'm looking a little young these days. I gotta get another one.
I saw that. I was like, oh yeah, no. But you're looking like a distinguished gentleman.
It's fine. It's fine.
And she says, we fans are hardcore. That is
true. Yes.
That's true.
Now, are you aware that there is a tour going out in the fall? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's exciting. That's very exciting.
I'm hoping it's good.
What are you worried about?
The things that I've heard have been that there's going to be some alterations to scores and to sets, like just kind of minimized.
I haven't heard that. And I think that they'll be I think it's more of the London version.
Okay.
But it's not going to be so from left field like the last tour that went out that I was on. Like this will be like, I would say at least 90-95% of the Broadway show.
I've seen every iteration, whether it's through video or live only in New York. But I will tell you, and I don't know if you know this, during COVID, they would play multiple times, like throughout the quarantine. They would play like the 25th anniversary. They would play Love Never Dies. They would play everything. And it was like just Broadway, but it was almost all fandom. It was very cool.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, he's the first one to wear a mask.
Well, and it's also this the same team that just finished this the Broadway. So I think they'll know how to do it. They'll know how to do it.
That makes me feel better. I'm always so hesitant because I'm like, it's not going into the Majestic and feeling like I'm just walking home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear when Audra was sick for that week in December? and the whole Gypsy cast was shut down. People were saying like, "Oh, it's because they didn't keep box 5 empty in the Majestic."
You know what was really sweet? Right after it closed, they had somebody kept putting up a sign up saying 5 days since a workplace accident, and each day it would go 6 days, 7 days.
That's so funny.
Cool. It was very funny.
That's hysterical. Cool. How did I did I see it? I don't remember if I saw it or not. Oh man.
Yeah.
I actually the very first time I sat in box was the very last time I saw the show.
Oh really? Oh, that's so cool. That's a very very special memories, that entire place.
Now, have you gotten a chance? I know we're kind of running close to time. I don't want to take up the rest of your time, especially because you're flying out tomorrow. Have you seen a lot of shows that are like new season, or have you just really not had the opportunity to go out yet?
I haven't seen, first of all, it's expensive, as you know.
Yeah. They just raised all the Rush prices now, like $20.
Did they really?
Yeah, Amber sent me the list earlier.
That was for lottery at least.
Oh, lottery, yeah.
No, I haven't seen anything new. I was supposed to go see Sunset Boulevard, and I got sick, so that was a bummer.
That's Amber's favorite.
I would love
my
to see
new obsession
Gypsy, because I would love to see that. I think that's great. I want to see Danny Bernstein. I think I'll just cry the whole time. Is he just wonderful in it? You saw it, right?
He's marvelous. He is an absolute joy on stage.
He's such a sweet, sweet, sweet man, and king of Broadway, I tell you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, just awesome.
Maybe Happy Ending is definitely like talking about like new work.
Yes. I just looked at that, and that was like $240 back in the orchestra.
But they have a Rush. They have a Rush.
Do you have a Rush?
They do.
Okay,
and I got a ticket through Rush. And TKTS has it every once in a while.
Was it amazing?
It was beyond my expectations, because it's a new show. It's not an intellectual property we're familiar with. It's not a revival. Right. It's very heavily just these two characters. The set is both simple and very detailed, because it moves. It's like a light set. So there's like, it opens up, and then there's an apartment, and it closes, and then it opens up, and it's the street, and it's just so unique because it's theater. It's like real theater. The music is incredibly good. It's very jazzy.
You think it's going to win?
I think it'll definitely take something.
All right.
Who are your early Tony noms? Let's get them while we're here in February.
Tony noms. She's going to win for Sunset Boulevard, I think.
I think Nicole will too. Yeah.
Nicole, yes.
I think so
too. I don't know. From what I'm hearing, can Darren Criss win for?
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's. I mean, Darren has a wonderful voice. Yeah. The first time I saw
best costume is going to go to Death Becomes Her at the Lunt.
Yes.
Oh, of course. And I forget the Death Becomes Her's there.
Go see the show. Go. It went from one spooky
show
to another.
The Lunt looks beautiful in purple, I will say. They repainted everything. It looks gorgeous in there.
But I think we went on Halloween. We went to the Halloween show. We were in.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, running through Times Square in ball gowns, and I had a corset on during Halloween.
Yeah,
super
okay.
Fun. Yep. Yeah. Sitting in that theater with a corset on. Very unique challenge.
Very unique.
Very unique. But I think we both walked in and we're like, oh, there's no Sweeney, but it's still spooky.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, it's so funny when you fall in love with the show and then you go see it. You know what's also weird? This is the weirdest thing. So I lived at that theater for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And you do the last show and it closes and you walk out the stage door. And if you go back the next day, A, you're not invited in. And B, half of it's gone.
Yeah,
right. Like, it's so cutthroat. And it's just like, yep, okay, next one's coming in.
They are so fast. Like I walked by that theater. It was like a week after, and the side door, like it was like stage door, but like everything was open, so you could literally see onto the stage.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it, but I'm like, well, the stage door, it's a stage door. But when you literally think like 20 feet in, you would be on the stage. I never thought about it that way. But I was kind of like doing one of these. I think I took a couple of pictures and they're like, oh, cool. And I'm like, sorry. And I was like, crazy. It didn't look like it at
It's
all.
crazy. No, it goes. They do such a good job.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
Sandra?
also wanted to recommend Drag the Musical, which is off Broadway too. It's like the Kinky Boots
Right.
of
Fun,
like
okay.
right now.
So
All right.
you had all these incredible drag queens in Kinky. Thank you for reminding me. I was like, Amber, help me remember.
I did, yes.
Thank you. Because, you know, you go from Kinky where it's trying to, you know, teach you about like drag queens and that culture and like really, especially with Don's character, like he's like challenging this. He's not going to wear a poofy dress, you know.
Right.
And then he has this change of heart, and I love that.
Yeah.
And now we have like Tomas Costanza and company of our Drag the Musical off Broadway.
Yeah.
Not off, just off Broadway. But it is solely focused around drag queens, and there is a storyline in it. It's the complete opposite. It's now a straight guy and his son.
Okay.
It's really, so if you get an opportunity, go check them out. But it's I'm curious about, you know, you played some really unique characters. I think that to me, Dawn would have been a little bit more of a challenge in society.
Sure.
What would you say? Would you agree, or would you have more challenging? I mean, clearly.
No, I would absolutely agree. And it was never, you know, doing stuff like that. You do it for the story, and everyone in the building knows you're doing it for the story, and that's not really, you know, what you're doing.
No, of course.
But it's not particularly easy to stand across Billy Porter and, you know, and just be an asshole.
Right.
Right.
I couldn't imagine.
Well, the only thing that is awesome is that you get to you have that moment where you do come around and you know you're going to get there. And so it's okay. The audience, you know, is pulled along with that. But there used to be some times where it was like, ooh, you know, what's funny is that I have never had a harder time singing anything in my life than that last note that Dawn sings at the end.
And Just Be?
Yeah.
Or Raise You Up?
Because I don't have a good falsetto. Like I could never do Jersey Boys. I just don't have a falsetto. Mm-hmm. And so I would trash that note every time I went on. And all those angels, the drag queens would call them angels, they would come out and they would swing by, and then after I would sing that, and then I'll go, no, sorry, didn't get it tonight.
They're reading you.
It was so brutal.
You should have had
everybody in the whole building would be like, is he gonna hit it?
Nope.
I went to Liz Kaplan, like the best voice woman in the city, and
we're just not meant to have it.
And I couldn't get it to happen. And then of course it turned into a mental thing, and my voice would just tighten up. And I would be up in the dressing room being like, hee. And then I got on stage and it wouldn't come out. So anyway, about 4 months left before I left, I went to the music director and I said, is there any way that I can take that down? And they were like, well, let me check with Stephen Aremus. And then they got back to me and they're like, yeah, we kind of like you to take that down.
Okay, good.
I was like, thank God. I've been stressing out about this for a year and a half. No, not a year and a half. I was in that show for 5 years. What am I talking
about? Well, now, did you, when you were in Kinky, you also worked with Annalee at that point too, right?
I did. In fact, Annalee was the first person I ran into when I went to the theater to pick up my script, because she was going over some Tony stuff that she was working, which was cool. Annalee is one of the sweetest, kindest people in the business.
Yeah.
I wrote to her and said, hey, do you mind if I come play with you at Sweeney? And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And she's a powerhouse, man. Watching her work, watching her and Ruthie put together those characters in rehearsal was a gift. And that's another thing in my top 5 is, and they never stopped working the entire run. And Annalee would be like, hey, is this funny? And she would jump for the cockroach and literally just do a pratfall. And I'm like,
he was very physical.
I said, can you do that? She's like, yeah. And then all the covers were like, oh shit.
My favorite was when she would like pull herself up. Like, you know what I mean? Like she goes up, she just like, Mike, you're so tiny. Then she's like just sitting there and talking. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
She's got a new show coming out on
Happy People.
Happy Face. It looks freaking
Happy People. What is Amber?
I think it's Happy Face.
I think it's something like that. Happy
Paramount
something.
Plus, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm gonna look up her IMDb. That way,
yes.
I will say I got to see the show when Nicholas Christopher and Delaney Westfall.
I knew you were going to talk about your boy.
Oh yes, that was a very special show.
And I have never laughed so hard than I did with their Little Priest. It was just a riot.
No, Amber reenacted it for me.
I reenacted it for Heather.
During our viewing of the slime tutorial, which you were not in. That must have been one of your out days. Because we were doing our due diligence before our show. But she's like, she paused it where it's just Josh's crotch and Annalee.
Oh,
and
yes.
But she's got like a 60-inch TV in her living room, and so she funny. Just reenacts the.
But it was so funny when I saw.
Listen,
and I think
Nick Christopher. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Amber. I interrupted you.
Oh, I was going to say, I think Alex Lacamoire was the conductor of that show as well, and it was like such an incredible experience. It was such a fun show.
It was lit backstage. We were loving that day. I'm going to call it here. Nick Christopher will win a Tony in the next 2 years. He is stupid.
Have you seen him in Little Shop?
Huh?
Have you seen him in Little Shop?
I did. Did you see Little Shop with him in it?
Yes. Aww. Specifically, I saw him with him and Sherry. Let me tell you, and you said you haven't?
I haven't. I don't. Did he leave?
No, I think he's
the 26th, I believe.
He's got like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, good.
Go.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm going.
Yes.
I'm going to go.
Seriously, let us know. We'll get you taken care of over there with whatever. Because we know, I mean, you obviously know Nick, but like, his height compared to, first off, Sherry's tiny. He's gigantic. Yeah. And him as Seymour, you're just like, how does this work? But it does.
It does. Oh, I want to see it so bad.
There's one scene, and I'm not going to give it away, but he literally is like holding on one side, and just his whole body is essentially across the stage. But he's so smart with his movements, and I'm just like, it's genius. It's just so cool. It's just so cool.
That's a great word for him. He is such a smart performer.
Yeah. He's another one that went on with no rehearsal and destroyed it. It was so great.
Meanwhile, if you ask Lin-Manuel Miranda if he could go back into Hamilton, he said he would be able to, but he would definitely have to read like on book.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just crazy.
I know. That is crazy.
I'm going to ask my favorite question. I have to always ask our guests, and Amber is already giggling over it. Is there a question that you've always wanted to be asked, whether about a specific role or you, that no one's ever asked you before? And what is the answer to that question?
That's interesting. I think no one's ever asked me how you sustain a career this long and how you continue to get hired.
Then give us that answer.
And I will answer that with, it's all about who you are as a professional and as a human being.
Yeah.
And Sweeney Todd's a perfect example of that. Look, there were 400 guys that could have done the track that I did. And I think that what pushed me over the edge was that I have a reputation of being a hard worker, someone that's really fun to have in the building. I'm positive, nice, but also can cover roles really well. And I think that that's something that gets lost with some of the, a lot of people come in so prepared and so trained and so ready and and you forget that really it's about a group of people telling a story. And whether it's the ushers, someone who's cleaning up after the show, a lead, Josh Groban, or makeup, hair, everybody's on the same playing field. Everyone's working together to put that on. And I love talking about that because it's something that it's kind of a little bit lost, I think. And we have a lot of and we have a lot of people who expect to just kind of walk into a glorious career. Entitlement is a real big problem.
Yeah,
and,
I agree.
And that's where old guy Steve is like, well, it's about, who you are as a person, you know what I mean? But it's true. It's really true. And I'm lucky enough where you know, now when I go in for something, and if they start to do a little research, I know people have nice things to say, and it may put you over the top, because, you know, there's a lot of people that can do all the same stuff. So.
But you've always, I mean, at least to me, like, just even as a fan, you know, with Sweeney, like, you've always just been so, like, jovial and kind and humble. Like, it never came across, like, you, at least to me, and maybe people, I can't imagine anyone having any kind of other experience with you. From everything I've ever come into contact with you, whether it's just a random message or like just talking for a hot minute, you've always just been like, you know, my neighbor, my friend next door. Like, it's just always felt like, and I always try to stress to people, like, Broadway is local theater. It's just in a much bigger scale.
Yeah.
And
theater is theater.
Theater is theater. And I love that what Kara said, every person in the theater matters.
Which is funny, which takes me to this little business I started called
Tell us.
And Tewks Talk, I'm finding, is really taking off in the community theater world. Because look, we're all insecure. We all get in our heads when we go to an audition. We all have the same type of issues standing outside the door when you're waiting for people, and people doing head games and all kind of stuff. And I've really kind of figured out over the years how to kind of get into a room and things to say and mantras to use so you can relax and actually get the work out when I'm in an audition situation. So it's kind of like a mentor, kind of like working on different types of things, but it really ends up being conversations about the mental approach towards the business. And I'm finding that more and more people in the community theater are interested in learning and being mentored and taught by someone that's been doing it for a long period of time. Well, and I always say, it doesn't matter whether I'm going in for Alex Lacamoire or you're going in for your musical director. We still feel the same thing. We still don't feel like we're worthy. We feel like we're imposter syndrome. Like, oh, why would you hire me? You know, we all do it. We all do it. So if anybody out there is interested, please check it out.
Yes.
gmail.com. Send me a message and
Instagram. And for those of you not watching but just listening, it's Tewks Talk, and T like Tom, E like Edward, W like World, K like King, S like Sam, Talk, TALK. And it's the same at gmail.com. You're really as lovely as you come across. Like, this isn't just an act for the podcast. It's true.
Yeah, that seems like such a valuable, I don't want to say product, because it's, you know, not really a product per se that you're offering, but such an experience to offer because of what you have to offer to other people. That mentorship, like you were saying, it really seems like for some that might be a really invaluable experience.
I think it's fun. Amber, when you started talking, I was like, I disagree. I think you're an ass, Stephen.
Thank you.
Just look on your face. I'm like, she's gonna come after me. I can't wait.
He calls it resting in the face. I'm always like, he's like, this is just my face.
All the time. I'm like, it's just my face. I just have this face.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my.
Well, this has been great. You guys are awesome.
You're amazing. I was like, we've already taken up so much of your time. You're always welcome back. I'm I have been looking forward to this since before you were even like, yeah, I'm ready to do the show. Like, because just talking to you and kind of picking your brain, you're just wonderful. So please know that you're always welcome back. And we can't wait to hear how Tewks Talk is going to like blow up and take over the world.
All right.
Please, guys, if you have any questions or comments, or obviously no concerns here, but questions or comments, we'll just put it that way. And see, even Kara agrees. She goes, "You're such an incredible human." Oh,
thank you, Kara. Very sweet.
But if you guys have any questions and you want to reach right out to Tewks, you can reach out. Again, it's tewkstalk@gmail.com. Or if you don't feel comfortable just sending direct message right over there or on Instagram, you can reach out to us and we will be happy to get the message over to him. And then now there's no acting in sight for you right now. You're just going to try to take this consulting.
I do have something in the can, but I haven't signed a contract yet. And also it's at a place where they like to announce that themselves and not you do it. You know what I mean?
We're very excited to
it'll be fun. And I'm very much looking forward to it. So
I'm excited.
I'm sure they'll
very
drop that
exciting stuff on the horizon.
Early March. Okay. We'll keep an eye out for it. Absolutely. And then, yeah, whenever you want to come back and tell us even more. And we can't wait to see what Matthew's film looks like. Oh,
yeah.
And Chris Levy, Orlando friend here, having followed Took since his
Hey, yeah.
Go Wildcats. It's been so much fun to catch up to on the show.
Chris, that's awesome.
Love Chris.
Hey, Matthew and I should come back and we'll talk about what it was like to grow up with a musical theater dad who was gone a lot. We'll have a full therapy session. It'll be awesome.
I mean,
I work in mental health.
She does.
See, okay, so you'll be able to.
And I need mental health. So it's a great team we have. Yeah, please let us know. Well, anytime you want to come on the show, this is your platform, and we'd love to have you back.
I appreciate that.
So thank you. Awesome. We appreciate you. Then we appreciate you more. We're going to keep doing this. We really appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and we will see you guys minus Tukes next Monday. But I know, I was like, you're going to be gone. It's going to be
What do you got next week? Who's coming in?
We have Jasmine from the 20-Sided Tavern. She is one of their players.
Oh, I love that. Great.
Oh, yeah. We're excited. And then that follow you, since you're asking, I'll just pull up our calendar. We've got all sorts of crazy, incredible guests.
Following that, we have J. Elaine Marcos from Drag the Musical.
Correct. Yes. And then following that, Amber, do you remember who's next? Matt DeAngelis from Swept Away.
Oh, Matt DeAngelis from Swept Away.
Nice.
Yes.
So nice. you are kicking off an entire month of incredible special guests. So without you, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So, so thanks for starting us off on a strong suit. Now everybody's got to do better. Live up to the expectation. No, but we really appreciate you. You're wonderful. And yeah, have a safe trip tomorrow, and tell your wife that we all say hi and that she's lovely.
I sure will.
All right,
guys.
Thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody. See you next week.